people assume bread baking is very scientific and step-by-step. To me, this kind of baking forces you to become more intuitive and more flexible. To me, it's a lot more like cooking. Like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What flour do we like today? What are we gonna change tomorrow? Because freshly milled whole grain really is like just as alive and active and an ever-changing ingredient as like whatever vegetables the cooks are using or whatever fruits pastry has. It's changing all the time. So it requires a different approach. But I think what's special about that approach is that it kind of forces you to think about bread and grain just like grapes and wine, because it's very similar. So when you keep grain whole, that like terroir that people talk about with wine, it's the same thing with wheat. So like the land that the wheat was grown on, the season it was grown, if it rained on the day of harvest, all those things actually impact the final flavor and texture and just overall look of the product. People don't really say like bread and health in the same sentence these days, because often when you're eating white flour bread, there's no nutritional benefit really, because again, it's just starch, just sugar. Whole grain flour, however, has a ton of what I'll call potential nutrition. So in the grain itself, there's protein, fat, vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and it's just unlocked by just the way you naturally make bread. How's the little man looking?
Little man is looking great. 11:56. Yeah, maybe I'm going to do a fold now, and then we cut at like 12:30, 12:40. Yeah. Like yesterday, okay.
I think a little farther than yesterday.
Yeah. What makes this place special is that we don't buy any flour. We only buy the whole grain, and we have our own mill and mill our flour daily, and we leave it. We don't sift anything out, but because of that, because we keep the germ in, which carries the fat but also the flavor, it's not very shelf stable, not like commercial flour that just like lasts on the shelves in the supermarket forever. And because of that, we do have to mill daily, and we store it like here in our bins, and you actually start feeling a change also just in flavor after like a week or something. We do blend like 5 to 6 wheats together depending on like functionality and flavors. We have our like stronger wheats and weaker wheats, and just like we keep adjusting every day. Sometimes, especially like this week, we have like 2 or 3 formulas for like the same bread, just because like, with the humidity and like our mill has been changing. So we always keep adjusting, and it's never like the same formula.
So all of this dough was mixed yesterday, and over that period of time, the wild yeast and wild bacteria are breaking down the dough matrix before you're even getting to it. So by the time you're trying that little slice of focaccia or levain or this campagna, your body's not struggling to break down when you're eating. You're not bloating, your blood sugar is also not spiking, and then you have the added benefit of all that nutrition that's there because it's whole grain. It's actually bioavailable, your body can pick it all out. So the way that I was mentored is that whole grain bread, when treated this way, really becomes a complete food in a sense.